Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tips with Tony's Topic Tuesdays. I'm super excited for tonight's topic, particularly because I have a lot of friends around my age who have been trying to get pregnant, and it's actually much harder than it sounds, even though, there are people out there who try 1, 2, 3, no problem, get pregnant. This is definitely something that should not be taken lightly, and I am really excited to share my expertise about this topic. Before I do that, always some updates and an opportunity for me to explain to you who I am. So my name is Tony Marinucci. I am a registered dietitian, and I'm a proud business owner of Diet Tips with Tony Marinucci, MSRD LLC. I provide online nutrition counseling for those who have a busy schedule, who kind of already know what to do, but they're just looking for that accountability factor and are really working on ways to improve their health and wellness in general, and they need a nutrition expert, and that's me. You're probably wondering, I did just post something on my page. Hey, Teresa. Hey, guys. I did just post something on my page on my Instagram and my Facebook, and you're probably like, what? You're on a Cheerios box? Well, I have my online business that I do outside of my full-time job. My full-time job is at a supermarket that I completely adore, and they have been raising money and supporting their community for years. I just so happen to be, thank you! I just so happen to be able to help out with the donations this year and kind of lead a big, deep team of people in raising more food for the hungry and helping to raise more money. But let me tell you, this was a group effort for sure. The people that work for ShopRite have a super big heart, and I am beyond thankful to work with an amazing group. And so part of our efforts into raising money for the community, General Mills partners with ShopRite, and they ask 2 people from your store to represent your team to be on the Cheerios box, and my team at the ShopRite of New Rochelle nominated me, which is the coolest thing ever. So if you're in the New York area, New Jersey area, Pennsylvania, basically wherever there's a ShopRite, go get your box before it's out if you want to see my face on it. Like, I don't know why you would, but it's pretty cool. You can't hear me well. Teresa, can you hear me? Can people on Instagram, can you hear me? It could be because my laptop is like making this funny noise because it's old and it's hot. Thank you, Sadia. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. And I do apologize. I don't want to have to. The sound is muffled. It's definitely my laptop. I'm really sorry. Let me see if I can move. Ooh. Instagram, is that better? Kind of? Okay, you can hear on Facebook. Good. I honestly, much better. Yay! Thank you, Christina, for joining. Always, you're the best. I love that. People are awesome. Anyways, all right, so Instagram, I'm sorry. I'm going to be looking this way because that's where I'm doing the recording, but at least you can hear me, so that's pretty cool. All right, so that's about it. Let's get started because this topic is definitely, I want to go in detail. I have my notes in front of me just because I don't want to miss anything important. But if at the end I do have some questions, if you do have questions, send me an email, tipswithtony@gmail.com, and we'll definitely go over that. First thing I want to talk about with infertility is that 1 in 8 couples actually struggle with infertility. So thank you, Stephanie. Happy to hear that. And basically let's just define what infertility is. It's usually when someone has been if a couple's been actively trying to have a baby and are having unprotected sex for 1 year, and they're not able to conceive. However, if the woman is 35 years or older and they try and it's 6 months and they're trying with unprotected sex and they can't get pregnant, then that's considered infertility as well. So you might be wondering, so we're going to go over things like when you should go to a fertility specialist, 5 things you can do to improve your health and wellness, and why you might not be getting pregnant. Now, I want to say before you go to an infertility specialist, there are definitely other things to work on. However, if you have been trying for 6 months to a year, 6 months if you're 35 or older, or a year and you're 35 and younger and you're still not getting pregnant, I don't think it hurts to go and see an expert or, a specialist before, but obviously that's up to you and your significant other to decide. 7.5 million women who are currently actively seeking treatment to get pregnant. Now, what's remarkable is there was a recent study by Harvard claiming that the study was showing that if a woman or a man, which we're going to talk about, the men's diet is important as well, if they are to change a minimum of 5 things in their diet, so they make 5 nutrition changes in their diet, they're at an 80% greater chance of getting pregnant. So it's definitely multifactorial, and we're going to go into those details in a minute, but nutrition is really, really key. All right, so let's get started on topic number 1. So why your eating habits might be affecting your ability to get pregnant. There's many different reasons, but I just want to talk about how there could be an underlying disease. So people who have polycystic ovarian syndrome, celiac disease, any sort, maybe even sleep apnea, believe it or not, these are certain disease states that make it difficult for a person to conceive. So it's important, especially if someone has like a thyroid condition or PCOS, it's important that it is treated, that the ultimate disease is treated first before you try to conceive. Okay, so there's likely an underlying cause, and if you're not taking care of that underlying cause, then it's not actually, it's going to be much harder for you to conceive. So there might be something else. This is a great topic. Unfortunately, I know too much on this subject, and I can tell you firsthand, nutrition is important. Aw, thank you, Tina. Yes, it is very important, but there are other factors as well. But as a registered dietitian, I'm going to talk strictly about the nutrition. However, there are other things that are factor into it. So you might have perfect nutrition, but if you're really stressed out, you're still going to have problems conceiving. If you are a smoker or if you're drinking alcohol on a regular basis, you're going to have difficulty conceiving. Men who are drinking and are in the relationship are going to make it harder too, because the alcohol quickly goes through the semen really quickly and kills the sperm. So therefore, it's going to be harder for a family to conceive if the man is drinking as well while you're trying. So experts will say that women, if you do want to drink alcohol, then to do so when you're menstruating, because obviously you're less likely to get pregnant then, or even try to get pregnant then. But regardless, you're really not even just a little bit of alcohol is really acceptable when trying to conceive. So hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. So for those of you on Instagram, I'm looking over here because there's a weird noise coming and I have to focus, so I do apologize. All right. So another reason why you might not be getting pregnant and related to diet and nutrition is because you might not be getting enough antioxidant-rich foods, which I'm going to talk about later when I talk about diet specifically. But there could be an imbalance of what you're currently eating, and weight management is really, really, really important from both the woman and the man. Now, the women are a little bit stronger of a predictor when it comes to weight management, but the men play a third of it, are basically a third of the percentage comes from the men as well. So it's not just, this is a couple trying to conceive. So both parties need to be eating healthy, exercising regularly, managing their stress, not drinking excessively, or drinking, honestly, even drinking moderately still isn't recommended. So it really needs to be a discussion between the two partners that you're going to start to improve your eating habits. And by doing that, there's actually a weight distribution. If you can get closer to your ideal body weight, then you're likely to produce the right amounts of estrogen or testosterone to produce a baby. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to particularly, so if you're someone, let's just start with that. So you could be an overweight individual, say you're 5'5" and 180 pounds. Your BMI is going to put you at an overweight range. The recommendation is to get yourself to an ideal body weight, so a body mass index of, say, like a 23 or 24, but right now you're at like closer to a 30. Even if you lose 5 to 10% of your body weight, if you don't have to actually get to a healthy body weight category, you can go from a BMI of 30 to a BMI of 27, and that's just, they're going to be considered overweight, but you're going to most likely you're going to have more regulated levels of estrogen in your body, and therefore you're more likely to be able to conceive and contract a baby. So Stephanie said, if you're okay with me sharing, I have PCOS, 18 years no birth control before I conceive, took losing 100 pounds before having my children. Yeah, so PCOS makes it very, very difficult. And if you think about PCOS and being overweight, they usually go hand in hand. So usually someone who's overweight, even though people have a healthy body weight can still get PCOS, usually being overweight puts you at a greater risk factor. And so treatment of PCOS is usually like a moderate carbohydrate diet without a lot of added sugar and weight management. And then your symptoms start to relieve, and then your hormone levels start to regulate. And it's all kind of a cycle into one. So they all go, you guys, they all go hand in hand, okay? Now, what I will say is your body weight, is really important. But those also too who are underweight and have not enough body fat are likely not going to produce enough estrogen either. So being underweight is also not going to help with the situation. Also, I do want to say, like, as you're starting to, if you're practicing, this is not about bringing, this podcast, not my podcast. I do have a podcast though, I didn't say that. This live video is not talking about taking the baby to full term. This live video is specifically to help you to conceive if you're trying to conceive. Now, if you're interested in taking the baby to full term, then the same nutrition recommendations are going to apply, but then even more specific. So if you have not yet met with a registered dietitian or spoken to someone who specializes in nutrition and fertility, or just spoken to a registered dietitian, you don't necessarily have to meet with them. But if you really need to be following specific guidelines. So this is all general. Like, all of my talks are general. All my podcast episodes are general. Everything I ever post on my blog is general. But if you really want to take this seriously, you need individualized care. And you really need to make sure that you're meeting your nutrition needs along the way towards each trimester to bring your baby to full term. But this is just more likely to get you to conceive. But the reason why I'm saying that is because you also want to be practicing healthy eating habits now, so that way you can lead by example for your children. So it does not hurt you to start eating a little bit healthier, exercising more regularly, and really making sure you're meeting all of your nutrition needs to help support the pregnancy and then even after the fact. So this is really going to help you learn healthier eating habits. All right. So let's get into your nutrition. What can you do differently? Okay. All right. Number one is, we talked about in the beginning, if you're under a lot of stress your body is inflamed, and it's not going to help with normal regulation, hormone regulation. So the way to counterbalance that is stress management in all different forms, whatever that is for you. From a nutrition component, dietitians recommend antioxidants that defend the free radicals that roam around in the body when you're under high amounts of stress. Okay, so that is, I mean, fruits, vegetables, spices, making sure you're choosing things like whole grains and nuts and seeds. You know, all of these different factors are going to be high in the antioxidant profile. So high antioxidants, and then second to that is going a little bit more plant-based, because if you're choosing more plant-based proteins and you're not having so much animal protein, that is also going to provide antioxidant benefits. More plant-based foods have more dietary fiber, which make you feel full, which can help you to achieve an ideal weight. Okay, so higher antioxidants, lower animal protein, and more quality rich foods. Okay, omega-3s, really, really important. So you don't have to go low fat or no fat diet, but you need to be choosing the right types of fat. So omega-3 fatty acids, particularly from fish for women, and walnuts for men. But regardless, the more healthy fats that you incorporate in your diet, the better off you will be. And the general recommendation with the omega-3s and getting it from fish would be about 3 times a week, about a palm-sized piece, 3 times a week. If you're not a fish person, then taking an omega-3 supplement at this time would be good in addition to your prenatal. So if you're not already taking your prenatal vitamin, you should be taking your prenatal vitamin if you're trying to conceive. So take your prenatal vitamin, and if you don't eat fish 3 times a week, then take an omega-3 supplement. You never want to double dose, and you always want to consult with your physician before starting any regimen, but I strongly encourage that to get you started. All right? We talked about decreasing your alcohol consumption. And choosing more high-quality carbohydrates. So you really want to limit the added sugars in your diet. You really want to make sure that your starches, your carbs, are whole grains. They have the B vitamins that your body needs in the very early stages of pregnancy to support a healthy baby. So you want to be incorporating those on a daily basis. So an example of that would be things like quinoa instead of white rice. Brown rice instead of white rice, but even quinoa is going to even have more nutritional value. Things like farro and millet, whole grain bread, oatmeal, those are the source of starches that you want to be eating, and you really want to limit the added sugars in your diet. See if there's any questions. Okay. So that, to be honest, the recommendations are not that much different than a general healthy eating recommendations for general Americans. However, if you're having difficulty conceiving, then you really have to be almost like strict and regimented that like this is your diet prescription. Meaning if you were to have to take medicine every single day, 2 pills a day for a month, let's say, because that was what your doctor prescribed. As your dietitian, I'm providing with your nutrition prescription, which means, making sure you're getting plenty of fruits and vegetables each day. You're choosing lean proteins, healthy fats, incorporating nuts and seeds and beans and legumes. You're choosing the omegas in your diet, so you might be sprinkling a chia seed or a flax seed on your oats or in your cereal, but you're definitely incorporating that fish 3 times a week. The men, get your husbands on board, get your spouse on board. You have to. This is a joint effort. It is not just the women's diet. It is not just the women's weight. It is the men and the women together. If both parties are healthy, they have a healthy body weight, they manage their stress, they have a normal exercise regimen, exercise routine, and they don't smoke or drink alcohol on a regular. So but really, for right now, this is like, if you're having difficulty conceiving, it's serious. So I know how much this doesn't sound right. You don't like to hear this for those who drink alcohol, but if you want to try and get pregnant, it's not the time. I love mocktails. I actually made a mocktail for National RD Day, Registered Dietitian Day last week. It's really good, so I'll share it with you really quick. It's raspberry flavored seltzer, a splash of cranberry juice, a squeeze of lime juice, fresh mint leaves, and that's it. And it's amazing. So if you're looking for a mocktail and you want more mocktail recipes, let me know. I'd be happy to give you some. So that is it. It's already almost 8:30. Oh my gosh, this time flies. I'll be back on next Tuesday for Tips with Tony Topic Tuesdays. I have yet to decide my topic, but if you have any ideas or suggestions that you want to know, let me know. I am looking for my notes because I did have an update that I wanted to share with you. Okay. Super cool thing. I asked a lot of you really on my Instagram story if you wanted to take the if I made a Are You a Healthy Eater quiz, would you take it? Would you be interested in taking it? Well, I created the quiz for you. So if you go to my website, www.tipswithtony.com, and you go to the first page of the About Me page and you scroll to the bottom, there's the Are You a Healthy Eater quiz. I want you to take that quiz, and I want you to tell me what your score is. If you're on Instagram, the Are You a Healthy Eater quiz is in my the link tree in my bio. It's right there. So if you want to take that quiz, you're going to go there. It's a really cool, it's quick. It'll literally take you maybe 5 minutes, and it will let you know if you're a healthy eater or not. And that's pretty much it. And then lastly, at the end of all of my videos, I provide a discount code for those who are interested. The first person to email me, tipswithtony@gmail.com, Tony with an I. The first person to email me with the discount code HEALTHYBABY gets a free discovery call with me, which is basically a 45-minute initial consultation to go over your current eating habits, see what you need to improve, and it's all done either through video conferencing or online on the phone. So the first person to send me an email, tipswithtony@gmail.com, with the discount code HEALTHYBABY, you will get that discount and free value of the assessment call. So are there any questions? Leave it for questions. Instagram peeps, thanks for sticking with me as I look in the other screen, the other direction. All right, so I think that is it. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and let me know if you have any questions or suggestions for future topics. Bye, guys.